Hello everyone, so today we have a different video. I'm showcasing basically my Solotage fights against Dentinea and Talcascia. I know that some of you like to see this type of recordings without any type of voices, so I'll be just quick. I'll just give my opinion about how I think about the Zeller at the moment. I tried Zeller very early game from level 1 to 60. Until you get to level 60 and get more action points and movement points, it's really a struggle to do any type of dungeons, for example with Zeller. Even if I'm 5 or 10 levels above and I'm just with another person, it's still very hard to do them. Most of the times we just die, we can't really do the achievements. It's really painful to do it because you just have 3 movement points, you are very limited with your action points, so you can barely do anything. So the Zeller in endgame, it's way better than it was last patch. The problem is that you do not possess any type of healing, you don't have lifesteal, you don't have any way to get your HP back besides Dokoko, Sylvan Dolphus, or even Kawot, or some type of tool that can give you your health back. So if trying to do some type of Solotage, you really need to be careful with any type of damage. And so some dungeons are just completely impossible because no matter what you do, you will always receive some type of damage. And because of it, I really think it's necessary that, for example, the 2 action points spells that you gain level 1 and even the Zeller Punch could be like a lifesteal, for example. I don't think that would be super overpowered because nowadays there are so many different classes that have this type of lifesteal. Also, the damage of these spells are really low, so I think it will just help improve a bit the Zeller gameplay. I really like the fact that whenever an enemy puts you in gravity, you can just remove it so easily with this new 25-hour spell. Some people complain about that they would like that Zeller would have some type of pushback in any of their spells. In my own opinion, I don't think that's super necessary. I think that's fine, you always have release. If someone is like really on you and they have gravity, for example. I just think that you should have a spell, or for example the 25th hour, it should deny your gravity, and also just exclusively for PVM, it should allow you to move, for example, some bosses that cannot be moved by teleportation. And so this would really help a lot the gameplay of the Zeller. I also tried another type of dungeons, but some dungeons were just impossible because the boss could not really be moved. And so it's really a struggle to do something with Zeller in this type of situations, because in those fights you are mostly useless. You don't do near 50% as much as you could do, just because of a simple fact that the boss cannot be moved. And since Zeller gameplay is really about that, its own passive, it's to generate telefrags. So I think that's really a must for the Zeller kit to have something like that. Talking more specifically about these 2 runs, Dentinea was fairly easy. I think I did it in 5 tries. And then the Talcascia was very hard. I did it over 70 tries, so it took me quite a few hours, like more than 6 hours to accomplish this. But I was also learning the new Zeller, so I think that's fair. But obviously, you have other classes that can do Talcascia Solotage really way easier, just because they have a bit more survivability, lifesteal. And if you increase that, if you give that to Zeller, I think it will be so doable to do this type of dungeons by yourself. For example, I did this in 46 turns, I think, the Talcascia, but I'm pretty sure that I could do it under 40 turns if I was a bit more efficient. I did some mistakes during that fight. Also, talking about the spells, some spells are a bit weird to use, like some, for example, intelligence spells are just a bit weird, they don't really match so well. And for example, the agility, the Shiverling, it's so much better than any other type of spell that costs 4 AP, for example, and removes the telefrag, because you just accumulate the power and it does just so much more damage than, for example, I think it's a Dark Ray, the intelligence, and even the clock for strength, or even the water spell, the 4 AP water spell that you remove the action points. So the agility spell, it's just way better, and it's just for 3 action points. So guys, this was everything for today. Enjoy the gameplay and see you next time.